hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip
Bars is back.
hip hop,
Sam
hip
Ant.
hop,
Oh God.
hop,
What's
hip
up with you? I done watched them niggas do interview after interview. They not.
And through the drama and through the seriousness of my pain, I began to reconnect with the laughter. And that's how I began. And also working in hospitals. I began to work in the food service industry. I was a wait staff and I was feeding the patients. And I would talk to them like they wasn't sick. They had spinal and brain injury. And the most deepest part of these patients was seeing them before the accident, how normal they were, how they looked, people's weddings, people's bar mitzvahs, their Christmas, their birthdays, their celebrations, however, with their family, however they were, what color, no matter what color, who they were, but how they were before the accident. So while they're in the accident and they messed up, their families there, I come in there with my energy, and without me thinking that I'm a comedian, I would make them feel good. And they would tell me that. They said, Rexx, whenever you come in, you make us feel good. And they didn't know they didn't know I was a comedian. I never told nobody what I did. Matter of fact, I didn't even use my name Rexx. I used another name. So I would be in these places. And also while I was in those places, I was also relearning about myself. I became the school of me. I became a student within my own personal classroom when it came to myself, because I began to be aware of what I do to people. And that's why I call myself the laugh specialist, because I make you laugh in other kind of ways. And then on the funk profit tip, I believe music is a ministry. So it all comes in together. And I just also happen to be a very humorous person because I get it. I get it.
Absolutely. So what's next for you, Mr. Garvin? What's next for the Funk Prophet?
Oh man, well, I'm going to be working with young black youth, man. I'm trying to get a black funk band together. So I want black kids to start playing instruments. I'm looking for some black kids to play some guitars, some flutes, congas, and violins. I want to create new grooves. I want to create young black bands. I want a continuation of Slave, Earth, Wind and Fire, BT Express, Jimmy Castor and the Castor Bunch, Brass Construction, Crown Heights Affair, the Barcades. In this time of Corona, I want young black kids to learn some instruments because the computer's taking over right now. The computer's taking over. So while everything's becoming new, I want to show black kids while they're in their time how to use their hands and how to use their minds. So when I talk to them, they have some kind of experience. So they don't Google every goddamn thing and know what kind of thing it is to have common sense. Because now you got to teach common sense right now because we're out of our natural homemade goddamn mind. So now you got to teach common sense. Also, too, I want to talk about earthquake. When it comes to black comedy, Earthquake has to be one of the baddest comedians I ever saw come to the surface. An Earthquake should be shot with a shit gun and arrested for stinking because he's a lying motherfucker. This big minister head, Earthquake got a minister head. Motherfucker got a reverend head. Okay. He got a big minister forehead motherfucker. Came to Atlanta in 1992 wearing a straw hat and overalls. And he was wearing, he was wearing some goddamn $200 goddamn Section 8 soldier boots. And this motherfucker came quiet, kicking pebbles. He came walking old ladies across the street. He went downtown Atlanta, feeding children Vienna sausages and shit. And he was
damn.
Damn. This motherfucker, man. He was walking around butt naked eating corn and shit. And this motherfucker, man, Earthquake is the lying motherfucker, man. He came in like he didn't know nobody. And he came in, he would call me every day. I would hang up on him, you know. And he would talk about, hey man, you know, because Steve Harvey was talking about Earthquake, talking about, hey man, Earthquake doing your shit, Earthquake doing your shit. Because Steve was the agitator back in that. Steve would start some shit. And Earthquake wasn't doing my shit. Earthquake had his own shit, you know. Earthquake ain't doing nobody. Steve do somebody else's shit, but not Earthquake.
Right.
But I didn't know that Earthquake was a secret dynamo. Let me tell you something. In the history of black comedy, Earthquake is number one. That show he did in Gulfport, Mississippi, and he did a one night stand Showtime. It was a Showtime. It was a Comedy Central thing he did. Was one of the two greatest performances I ever seen in my life. Earthquake does what I call, he does soul power comedy. His everything he does is comedy theater. The way he moves his legs, his body movement, his talk. He's one of the greatest funny people I ever seen in my life. Him and Paul Mooney and Steve Harvey, they're the master of gut bucket laughter. And Cat Williams. Yeah, those guys are the master of gut bucket comedy.
You familiar with T.K. Kirkland, comedian?
T.K. Kirkland, let me tell you about this motherfucker. T.K. Kirkland, at first I didn't like his ass. T.K. was too rough for me because the way the things he would do on stage. But then as I began to watch him and learn about him, T.K. is one of the most fascinating men I've ever met in my life because he's what I call a beautiful, polite, conservative thug. He's a thug. This motherfucker's a thug. But he's a pimp, and he's a beautiful person. I've seen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you about TK. TK came to the Comedy Act, and he had a great time. But I would just watch comedians based on the women they would draw, because I would draw a lot of women too. Because I had it going on back in the day, so I would draw a lot of women, a lot of gay men too. But I wasn't about that shit. Gay men, down low men. Your boy was drawing, but I'm 100% pure beef, no byproducts. You know what I'm saying? Shit. But we all had our women, and that's what made a lot of comedians jealous of me too. But TK had his own shit. I knew TK was something. I knew TK was special when he would be on stage. TK has a beautiful pimp player verbal flow.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
hey
sir.
Baby, how you doing? Yeah. Hey baby, how you doing? And even when there's a fat guy sitting, there was a fat guy sitting. He go, how you doing, my man? Oh yeah, you got a little bit of weight problem, huh? You're a fat motherfucker, huh? and the way he would flow on the mic, his voice is so crisp. Let me tell you something. One time TK did, because TK normally wears his hat. TK put on a suit. He put on a suit and he came to the Comedy Act. I've seen women bust a nut while this nigga was on stage. Women love to see TK in a suit. And I've seen women bust a nut in the audience.
So, you know, we have fun over here. We know we've had a couple conversations with TK. We've interviewed him a few times. And we also have conversation about Earthquake, DL Hughley, people you know. Talking about like, all right, they got to be paid by the Democratic National Convention because the way they cat for it is unbelievable. Now, we fans of DL and Earthquake on a comic level, but when it comes to social media, it's probably a whole different vibe. What do you think about that? Would they come off as two people, in particular DL and Earthquake, as a type that could grab some money from the Democratic National Convention and go ahead and promote for them?
You say grab some money? Well, if they are they Democrats?
I probably should. You know what? And that's a great question. Probably.
Yeah, because I'll say if you're a Democrat, grab the money. Okay, If you not, have them pay you for your time to say some shit. It's all business. It's all business.
Mm-hmm.
Only I'm an Earthquake fan, but one thing I didn't like, he said that he was on Comedy Hype. I think no Comedy Hype aired something that he said. He said about 65 million white people don't like us. Did y'all see that?
Nah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he said that. And I don't agree. He said, he said if you put Trump back in, he said white folks, he said white now he knows where we are with white folks. He's Earthquake says now we know where we are with white folks. And I'm like, I don't agree because we should have been know we were with white folks. That's nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing new about. You know what? People. I got bad news for you. There's nothing new what we're going through. It's the same old song, just has a different title.
Mm-hmm. It's a fact.
Same shit, different year, Chief. Same shit. It's the same shit. What it does, it keeps the conversation machine going. It keeps everything one way. Same shit. Motherfuckers be living in repeat, constant repetition, like Groundhog Day. Motherfuckers ain't going nowhere. Stuck on stupid. Motherfucker ain't going nowhere. Motherfucker, here it is. Motherfucker, goddamn, it's 2020. Where all the time go? It was 2013 a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah.
It was 2013, not far. Now it's 2020 already. And now we in Corona time. We on some different shit. But but DL has some on point political views. I love DL, by the way, too. I'm a fan of his too. So, but me, DL is kind of personal. So, whatever he wants to do, he can do it. I got my little opinion. Everybody got theirs.
I can definitely respect somebody that knows him because on the outside looking in, we've disagreed a lot. But that don't mean we don't got respect for the brother. But we agree to disagree on numerous occasions.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, you know what? You as a human, you can't agree with everything. I may like you on this, I may not like you on that. That's why when you talk about politics, it can be very tricky. Politics and religion, because it's all about who you with, and then you can be judged on that too. So it's kind of tricky. You can lose friendships. You can break up some shit. I mean, you can get harm done to you. I mean, we ain't keeping it real. Are we really keeping it real? Because if we keep it really real, will they really be able to handle it?
Nope.
I don't think so. That's why sometimes denial is a good friend to have. Sometimes denial is healthy.
Yeah.